Hello, fellow Mythrunians! It's that time of week again where we have another weekly live stream, and tonight we're going to be working on making a mod. So, for the Halloween party, I'm going to have some custom stuff for my server, and we'll make that today so we can kind of show people how to make a mod from scratch. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. I'd like to thank the patrons. This list may not be 100% up to date because I didn't check the Patreon list tonight. But that's the people who help me keep the lights on. Appreciate all that you do. It definitely makes a difference. Okay, so let's minimize this. That says we have 3 people on. If you're on, say hello. Before we get started on the real stuff, let me show you what I've done this last week. Hey, Woozy, how's it going? Hope you had a good week. Let's get the app started and, of course, kill my live stream performance here for a second. I think we'll be able to do, when we get to the part about implementing the actual mod, I think we'll be able to do it mostly with the game running. My week's been busy. It was the end of the planning week where we gave our pitch to the customer about our plan. So it was like a 5-hour meeting on Wednesday, and it's been kind of relaxing since then. Alright, so mostly I'm going to cut a release probably Monday that's got the latest mask and hat stuff in it, because that's pretty much done. I need to make it work for models other than the female human, but so I'll work on that this weekend. But even if I can't get that done, at least you guys could start making stuff, even if it's just for the human female. At least you could design it and get it ready for when you have if you were going to do a male character or a male elf or whatever, you could still just copy it over, kind of. Which reminds me, I need to get the export and import working for these accessories. Okay. And while we're in the game, I'll also talk about a little bit about sort of maybe how I want the mod to work, and that'll help frame how we build it. Okay, no spoilers, but I was playing with dungeon ideas, so come on. Here we go. Okay, so in the clothing, one of the things I did was, so if you're editing like a hat, let's go to the head. So if you're editing a hat, it's got this brim. That's where you can like click and place stuff. But now you can also turn that off so that you get just kind of a grid so that you can see how it looks on both sides. The other thing I added was that if you add, so let's put this back for a second. If you add a swatch here, it'll automatically put the version on the bottom. And the cool thing is it knows to rotate it. So if this was a bottom angle here and I put this here, it'll be the exact opposite on this side, so it knows to mirror it and stuff like that. The other cool thing is if then you come back and let's put a square on top. So now I put a square on top and I've covered this up, but on the bottom it's still there. So that's kind of cool. So you can like add things to the bottom and add things to the top, and really build out your brim. And then you can also, of course, constantly see what it's looking like here. And of course you can still turn on and off the hat itself to see the head, because personally I actually have some hats I've been playing with that have multiple layers. So I used as an idea, I've used the the hood part for like the underside of, so this is like a fur hat. I gotta fix the fur texture to not have so many seams, but you still get the point across. So it's kind of like making like the coonskin cap kind of fur hat, and so I wanted something that like closely fit to the head, but then around here you've got like the brim and sort of the outer part. So from far away, it kind of looks like it gives it a little more interest, visual interest. And one sits on the head a little different than the other, so that's kind of cool. And I think there was one other hat that I was messing with that I did something similar where, I think it was the straw hat, maybe? So I was playing with a bunch of different kinds of hats. So I have a straw hat. Yeah, I did that too, just so that it gives it a little bit of extra brim, you know. And I used the frayed edge along the to give it kind of that, you know, frayed edge straw look. So I think we'll be able to do some interesting things. So I'm going to get this release out on Monday. I'm definitely going to put a release out on Monday, so that you guys can start making costumes and stuff. And then if I can, I'll get the server mod up on the public server. So either, if not Monday, see, I can update that without sending out new clients. And so then you guys could start, if you wanted to start making your houses or whatever. And so how I think I want that to work. But anyway, I've been playing with a lot of different hats and stuff, and so I look forward to letting you guys play with that too. Yes, I've got this long hat, which I was messing with. Kind of like I was thinking like a Sherlock Holmes style hat, right? Just messing with different ideas. So anyway, it's pretty cool. So let me come back out here. And then, yes, I'm still playing with my desert world here. Let's roll back time so that we get some. All right. So what I'm thinking is, I had the idea that, let's see, I made some notes. So so there's two things I'm going to do for my server mod. One, which I won't do on here, which is to make the Halloween trophy dungeon. And that'll be similar to the hedge maze, except for when you get down to the bottom, you click on a thing and you get your Halloween trophy, and I'll capture your costume in some way. That's the secret surprise stuff. But the trick-or-treat system, I think what it's going to be is there's like going to be a signpost that everyone has for their houses. I think I'm going to pre-place them because that lets me build a town layout and possibly incorporate the trophy dungeon into the town. But if there's strong desire to let people place it all over the world, then I'll do that. But I thought it would be cool to have like all of the Halloween houses in one place, like for a Halloween town, rather than have us warping all over the world. So I thought it'd be a little bit better, and then we can see everybody trick or treat, assuming that we have people show up for the Halloween party. And that way everyone will see each other and be in the same place, and so on and so forth. And so, so yeah, I think that so there'll be like fixed places. I have to decide what the plot size is going to be, but I'll lay out some roads or something. And then first come, first serve. You'll be able to click on a sign to claim, you know, your plot, your house, and then build your house there however you want it. And then there'll be like a signpost out front. And I'm thinking, instead of having it be the same thing, I'm thinking like there'll be a signpost marking like the entrance to your plot, which will be something that I put down as the admin, and then there'll be like a candy bowl or something that you can place anywhere on your property. And so someone can click the sign to like say they visited your house, but they can click the candy bowl to say they actually found, you know, they actually like got the candy from your house. And then there'll be like a candy basket that I add to the player's inventory when they click on that. And then they can look at that and see all the houses they visited and stuff like that. And people can look at the sign on the front of your house and see how many people visited your house and all that other stuff. So that's kind of how I want it to sort of work. So to do that, we're going to need an item to represent the sign in the front of the house. And so I've kind of decided, and an item to represent the basket. Basket. And again, you guys on the stream can, of course, influence some of this too if you want. And so the general idea, I'm going to go ahead and close this in the background. So the general idea is that, you know, the script for claiming a property that's attached to the sign, that would only be visible, that would only be claimable once, right? Each player can claim a particular claim, and so that would only be visible if that particular sign has not already been claimed. Assign the property to the player so that only you can modify the blocks in that area, and then change the name of the sign to, you know, say whatever your name is, Halloween House. and then limit dragging within the property bounds. Which, as long as you guys are good, I don't have to necessarily add that. But and then the script for visiting, which is like where the candy bowl would be. So only visible if the trick-or-treater has not already clicked on it. So that'll be the default click handler if they haven't clicked on it. But I think otherwise it will list the people who visited there. And then there's got to be an item to represent the the candy basket for the player for collecting candy. So that's like again for giving candy. So that's for the one for giving out candy, and like like the trick-or-treaters carry that little bag around. And so then that one will need a default click handler. So like if you when you look at it, it will tell you all the places you visited, that kind of thing. So we'll deal with script initiated dialogues with lists and things, so that you need next page, previous page, all that garbage. And then I need an admin one to pre-place the signs around for the plots, and I need to figure out a good plot size. And I may need to, so I don't know if I can make properties that are immovable, and that's really what I want, is to be able to put these properties down in advance. And then, I'll probably put down 16 of them or so. And if for some reason we run out, then I'll add more. But that way, I can build some roads and stuff and put the plots down and figure out a good size for them. No bigger than 32 by 32, but maybe like 24 by 24 or something. We can mess with that. And then, so I may need to modify the property system to allow movable properties. So that's kind of the gist of it. How we get started is we are going to make the mod. So we first go in, so wherever you're running the game, you have this server mods directory that you can make if you don't already have one. And so then, let's see, so I have like last year's that I did. I'm going to go ahead and make a new folder in here. I think that works. We're going to test it out. So we're going to call this the 2025 Halloween. Okay. I'm going to open the previous year's mod so that I can see what that looks like. But we'll kind of type one together. And so I think I can start, I think probably I can't. Halloween 2025 mod.json. So that's the name of the file to signify that you've got that it's a mod. And so it will search when the game starts up, when your server starts up, or when you're playing locally. Even when you're playing locally, there is a server. You're in client server, you're just running everything locally, and you can only connect locally. So it will run that server mods for every world you load. And so then essentially you need all of these things in there. So like you need a group ID. That would be whatever your unique thing is. You'll need a name. I'm just going to call this the 2025 Halloween Trophy mod. Format version, that's just garbage. If you leave that out, it's fine, but that lets me know if I ever upgrade this format in some way, I know to use the old way to read it. Version, if you have different versions of your mod. Dependencies, what other mods this depends on. So you can actually have dependencies between your mods, or if you know that you were going to need some of the base stuff that's already there, like we will need standard objects, we will need the server admin, we will need base includes. Standard objects also gets us the base object API and a bunch of other things, so it's fine. And then we'll have our own, I guess I can name them whatever I want. So then we'll have our own little 2024 or 2025 Halloween.groovy. And so then we'll need to, and like you can have config options for your mod. Eventually the ability to enable or disable and add config options will be an option panel within the the world UI, when you create a world, you'll be able to set, you know, certain config options for whatever mods there are, you know, if you need to turn on and off options, but there's no UI for that yet, so there's no reason to put config here. No strong reason anyway. I suppose if you were to make a mod and you know, for other people to use, and you wanted them to be able to configure different aspects of it, that could be for that. All right, so we need to make our script. 2025 Halloween.groovy, and it doesn't need all that crap. And we're gonna want some kind of objects. But let me see what I've got already, and we'll just co-opt the existing ones for the moment. But the way it's supposed to work is you could put .blocks files in this same directory with your .groovy file, and you should be able to load them. But we're going to see what I have already to see. So I might just co-opt. I don't know what wand4.blocks looks like. Let's see. Maybe we'll make a new one. So the thing is, like, I'm not 100% sure the local loading of blocks files works yet, but we'll do something here. Okay, so we'll go ahead and take a few minutes to go ahead and come on. Why you gotta take so long? Okay, so we'll just take a couple minutes to make some things. But let me see what wand 4 looked like. Maybe I'll just reuse it for now. Come on. Oh, I passed all the wands. Wand 1 is this one. That's the build wand. We don't want to use that. Wand 2. Oh, that's just a different color. Neat. The thing is, the wand 1, wand 2 are so big, and that's the extractor wand. That might be the dungeon wand. Okay, that's a cool looking wand. I think we want the little ones though, because these take up so much room in the inventory. And I think I called those scribe. Oh, anyway, we don't need wands. Anyway, what we want is a sign. Yeah, so I'll make a sign. Let's see, we want wood. And I think we'll do a cylinder. Vertical cylinder. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And I think, yeah, since that's 2, 3, yeah, okay. And then what do I want to use? I think I'll use wood also to make the signboard itself. It won't have any actual sign on it, but we can pretend. Although it's not going to actually be attached, which is going to look kind of weird. Oh no. Yeah, so I got to do this like the cheesy way, because we still have that bug that I mentioned in previous. Let's make it one taller. Okay, so we'll pretend this is a sign. Oops, frick. Yeah, so the still got the problem with the okay. And in fact, what I may do is instead, sorry, I this is unimportant, but I may, oops, wrong way. I get wrapped around the Axel about the look of things, you know. There we go. Yeah, so that's the fear. Is I did this wrong. There we go. That's the way I want it. Alright, it doesn't have to look perfect. I'm spending way too much time on it already. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a full meter high, so that's probably not a great idea. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So about a meter high and then a little bit higher. So yeah, just shorter than door height, maybe. Actually, I think that's better. Okay, save as sign 1. Okay. And then I don't think I have any existing baskets. So I just need something to represent. Yeah, I don't want to use the whole chest. Buildings. Yeah, etcher was what I was looking for before. That's what I'll use for the admin ones. Sorry, I got sidetracked. What does the lantern lit look like? Oh, too complicated. That is cool though. I think we're just gonna make something. So anyway, you know, I'm making these in Blockhead, which does come with Mythruna. I mean, there's no script to run it directly, but you actually can run it if you know the secret magic. Actually, if I make this small enough, we can just put it in the inventory. That's okay. Let me just new, and we'll make something real quick. But you can also, if you make objects in the game, you can export them to use as well. You can save those as block objects. Let's do cast iron. Let's do cast iron, and we'll make a cube. So just the boink, boink, boink. And we'll make like a little cauldron. So I need, oops, wrong thing. I need wedges. Inverted wedges. Yeah, so boink, boink. Boink, boink. Boink, boink. Boink, boink. And then, I'm not going to make it look real great. Just a couple little, okay, so that kind of looks cauldron-like. We'll give it some angles. So we'll do kind of like that. Oops, wrong way. Boink, boink. Oops. Boink. Boink, boink. Boink, boink. Okay, kind of looks like a... and then we can do, while we're here, what do I want? I think I want steel, and I want to use a post. Yeah, so we can put like a post here and a post here. I have no idea what we're going to do to cross. I could do kind of like angle and like cheat. So I don't know, kind of looks like a little handheld cauldron thing. Actually, we can put. We could have made that wider, I suppose. But I'm gonna leave it like this. I kind of like the thinner handle. Okay, so we've got a little cauldron. Save as basket one. Backet. Why do I keep spelling it that way? Basket one. Okay, so that's all good. Exit. Copy source main. Is it? Shaper. That's what it is. Block files. Basket one. Source main resources models items. And then the other one was sign one. Source main resources models objects. Yeah. Okay, so just remember I did that. Normally you just put these in your directory where the Groovy script is. Now I need to look at let's look at the documentation. Oh, I don't have the documentation open. Oh. It's probably not in my recent documents either. Open. Are we in? Yeah, we're not even in the right place. So there is like a. I wish it would open the same directory that this was. So I don't have to hunt all around. But there is like a scripting document. So we'll just remember it because I don't want to go hunting for it. But how you create an object is, yeah, let's look up standard objects. Excuse me. Standard tools, yeah. Ooh, no, that's not what I want. So I'm going to use the existing thing as a I think test objects is probably the best way to go. Yeah, I already had it open anyway. Okay. So like so how you do it is you say yeah, I'm going to steal some of this stuff. Actually, let me find the axe because it's got all the things I need. And then add action. Yeah. Okay. So in here where we're creating our thing, I'm just going to put that down there so we can look at it. But what you would want to do is you want to say create type, and you want to give your type a name. We're going to call this 2025 yeah, let's just call it Halloween sign 2025. All right, and then you do width like this, and so that lets you start this thing. Excuse me. That lets you start to define things. This won't be an axe, so I mean this won't be an item, so you can actually define an object all by yourself that's got like all the things, you know, everything. You can define it, or you can base it on one of the super types, base object, or I think that there is a base for playable. Yeah, so we don't want it to be so base item would be normal with a thing you can hold in your hand. I'm trying to remember what I used for campfires, because that's sort of the same thing. We want to be able to place it and not move it around. Oops, let's search it. type campfire. So I must have put this in the dungeon prototype. Yeah, so then campfire is just a base item. Okay. Okay, so base item gets you a bunch of default behaviors. So we will also super types base item. If, you know, for so we'll also create our type for the Halloween bucket 2025. So I just want to distinguish it from all of the future and past. This won't be a swingable item, but it'll be another base item. So it gets a bunch of default behaviors like look and being able to like, you know, have it in inventory and stuff. For now, we'll leave the default descriptions, but that you could set a description. For when you're holding it, actually, since we're going to be putting it in the inventory, that lets them hold it. And so you want to be able to say what kind of manipulator it is. Essentially, like, if you're holding a build wand, then that's a build manipulator, and that will tell the UI to, you know, show, you know, the highlights around the blocks and all that other stuff. Whereas if you just got a regular hand, that means that you can still like talk to NPCs, you can still move things around just like normal. It doesn't get in the way. This is the like weird part. You want to set the, for when they're holding it in their hand, it doesn't really matter in our case. I think we'll go with we'll just start with 0, 0 and we'll see how that goes, and we'll leave it as the default rotation. So it's just basically where on the object the handle is. Eventually this will be defined graphically in the game when you create new things. Okay, so then you would, by default, you want to, for items that go into inventory or are going to be visual, you need to give them a shape. So there's like base item will automatically create the stuff for you that's got the shape, and it'll use this type var to build the right thing. So in our case, we called this what, basket 1, and we want the standard item scale, which I think is maybe specific to test objects. Nope, it's just a global. Okay, cool. So that makes it like the standard scale that would appear in somebody's inventory, which I think is 1/8 scale. And then based on that, you can set the object volume. Sometimes objects are strange and you want to override their default volume, but in this case we'll just define the object volume to be the volume of that little basket we made. And so that gets us all of that behavior. For the placeable object, we don't care about manipulators and stuff because we're not going to be carrying it in our inventory. But we do need to set the shape. So that'll be, we called this objects sign 1, and this one's going to be just the standard quarter scale. Okay, so we've got these two objects that we can have, and then I need to create the admin wand that allow me to place some of this stuff down. So create a type, Halloween admin wand 2025. Obviously when you're creating your mods you don't need to put dates in them and stuff, but that's just because I know I'll have new mods every year. So we can just steal all this stuff because we're basically going to make another, and we'll use the, what I call it, etcher. It's pretty sure stir source main resources models items etcher. Yep. Okay. All right, and then So none of this will actually appear in the game, right? Because there's nobody placing objects around and stuff, and that's what we need to make first, is the ability to like place one of these down so we can start developing its behaviors. And so when you have, so this is going to be a different kind of manipulator, because we're going to want to be able to click on the ground. And I think, so I'll look at the test wand. Not a swingable item. Base item, test object, base item. Okay, so manipulator digger. No, that's a test object. Creator, that's the one. So creator automatically has like some behavior for clicking on the ground, and then it will call your script with a particular action. These are things I need to document better in my scripting thing, but yeah, so you can define a bunch of things. Yeah, main click blocks. So we want to be able to click blocks. And then, yeah, because I think we'll, So place would be like the normal left click for a placeable object, but main click is the left click, alt click is the right click, I think. So placed structure is closer to what I want, but anyway, that's what this thing does. Yeah, so let's go with, let's steal these two things. So I'm going to put them down here, and then I'm just going to get rid of the parts that we don't want. And so, so we're going to add the action to show default block action, so that like when you're hovering over a block, this will show, like, we could make this conditional based on whether there is already something there or not, for example. But for now, what we'll do is we'll just place Halloween property. Okay, so we'll just have that. So if the user hovers over a block, it'll show them what clicking would do if they left click. And then this one is what they would use to actually do the click. And so we don't care about all that stuff. What we want to do is get the so we get the block location, and then I need to see, let me see what I did to create a campfire. Because I think most of that's automatic, yeah. Type campfire new input, yeah. We don't need to activate part. Okay, so we, so what, I'm gonna move these up as we go, right? So what we want to do is we want to define a new, we're going to type like looks up this type of object, right? So we're going to place the sign. Oops. So we want to find the sign. We're going to make a new instance of that. So that makes a new entity that's got all the stuff built in based on how it initializes itself. It knows its shape and all that other garbage. And then we can tell it to run this action called place at cell, which will automatically center it. And actually, this might be specific to campfire. I guess I could have done a little research before. place that cell. Yeah, so we're going to actually, these might be, what was the super type for that base item? Let's look, because one of these may already have a place. Place in world. Place in world. Yeah, so that there is no built-in place. There should be. So base object can place in the world, which I think is what the other thing delegates to. So we're going to steal the campfire stuff and take out the parts we don't want. Yeah, so here, so we're going to define this action called place, which takes a location, and just yeah, so what this is doing is whatever that place is, it's centering ourself based on the center, which means we're going to have to define that too. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, okay. So we're going to define a type variable here, which should be based on this. But our center is going to be, let's see, we were only 3 blocks wide. So what is 1.5 divided by 4? Is that 0.375? That is 0.375. So that's correct. And then this one is just 0, I think. Just so that means, like, otherwise if you click on a particular, if you place it at that location, it'll place that lower left corner. And we want to sort of define what the center looks like. It really, I want this to be automatic, but I haven't found a good way to do it yet because there's partial blocks and things. So this just defines what location we're actually placing it on, and we're not going to set up a, it doesn't have any sounds, so we don't have to worry about that. And then place a cell is just a convenience to automatically move it to the center of a cell and then call place. And we can't drag them, yeah, so can't drag the signs. So we got all that. And so now we can place at cell. We've got the cell, which is our block. But the thing is, the block location is not where we want to place it. We want to place it on top of that block, which is what this stuff does. So we have the block location. We're going to add to it the normal of where we hit, which is the arrow pointing out of that surface. We're just going to move it up a little bit, and then we're going to turn that into a block again by using floor. So that's like math stuff. But what that does is, let me see. So let's say you had, right, so yeah, so I can't draw with this, and I don't think I want to, well, we can try to sign into, yeah, come on. Come on, there we go. Load, come on. Maybe later. Okay. So here's the math I did, and if we wait for it to load. Oh wow, we got all kinds of old stuff here. Neat. Maybe it's time for us to go over to the side now. So if you have, like we clicked on the block, the locate, let's just say it's the side view. The location we're going to get of the block, the cell itself is there, but we probably clicked like right here or right here or right here. We may have clicked over here. And we want to place, we don't want to place our sign inside the block. And so we use the surface normal of wherever we clicked, which would look like this over here, or would look like this over here. And so we take the point we clicked at and we move it out just slightly along that. You know, in this case, it would be out here. You know, by 10 centimeters, we move it out along that normal. And then we do a floor, which is mathematically, it takes whatever the partial of this and moves it down to the nearest, integer. And so when we're clicking on top of something, it will move us down to the surface and we'll place our thing there. So that's basically what that floor does. So we're adding a little bit, and so that's all good. Now, I, as admin, will not have this in my inventory unless I add a little bit of script to put it in my inventory. And so let's do that real quick. I'm going to steal, I think test objects has, or is it the standard objects, standard tools? Okay. Yeah, so when a player is joining, let's just move these over one at a time so we can talk about them. So down here at the bottom, we'll do some stuff. Whenever a player is joining, we're going to do some stuff. First, we want to see if they're an admin. And where was I looking? Test objects. No. Standard tools. So we're going to see if they're an admin. How do we do that? Well, we're not doing that here. I should actually, you know what? I should have looked at my my old Halloween trophy, my old Halloween mod, because that all I had the stuff in. Yes, if we're joining, so we get the account. If there's no account, yeah, so we can steal all of this, and then I'll trim it out. I'll copy the things one at a time. So first, we need to get the account. If they don't have an account, then, you know, for that connection, if there's no account, to just return. That means we're in some weird bug area where we got a player entity joining where there actually isn't any player. We need the backpack. I like to log as I'm doing all these things. So we need the backpack, and if we already have, okay, so that's the trophy. If the player already has one of these, then remove it. Yeah, so I always remove it even if they're not an admin, and so we're going to call this the Halloween plot tool. Halloween 25. Yeah, Halloween 25 plot tool. So if they already have one, we remove it because I basically want to recreate it every time. And then we check to see, we get their permissions from the account object, right? We see, is this a single player game or are they an admin? And if anybody wants, I can publish this mod so you guys can look at it for your own examples as well. So basically, if they're a mod, then we need to add the plot tool or Halloween. I just like, again, I like to log a lot. Plot tool to the player, and I say which player. And so we create the item. And so this create item is already a built-in command you can run. And I think just basically I name them and give them the same thing. And instead of 16,7, I think we'll move it down to 10. This is one of the reasons I remove it every time, because then I can move it. So that should get us at least something, if it runs at all, if I haven't put a bug. So that's like a basic mod. We've created some objects. Only one of them actually does anything. So let's see if it's even going to load that, because again, I put it in a subdirectory. I'm pretty sure I searched the subdirectories. I should be able to, excuse me. I should be able to look at the logs and see if it's finding that mod as soon as we go into a world. Like literally, as soon as this is done, I should know. Because this is where it's loading the script. Well, here, initializing game modules is where it's loading our scripts. And so we should see an entry come through in the log. So if I go here and I grep-i Halloween with just two e's, Mythruna client.log. No, does it not look in subdirectories? That is possible. So what we'll do, because mine has the word Halloween in the name, right? Yeah, Halloween 24. Okay, so what we'll do, what we can do, I like having all of the scripts in a subdirectory. So what we'll do is we'll save this. We'll put it in Halloween. What did I call it? 2025 Halloween 5 Halloween slash. I think I can do this. And then we'll save this one level up. And then I'll go ahead and get rid of the other one so I don't confuse myself in the future. Okay. All right. Just make sure everything's saved. Save. Okay, let's make sure. So it must just look in that root directory. Something I probably should fix. Well, the other thing is you can have mods in like zip files too. Okay, come on, initialize the modules. Gonna hear a lot of the music tonight. Alright. Alright, so let's check again. Yay! Okay, so it found our stuff, it even ran our hooks. Or like initialized the hooks. So yep, it's running our stuff. Alright, let's go ahead and try to join then, see if I get the... Oops. Oh, right, because I developed that one only for my own... Actually, we can... I don't trust it. I said we could just exit again. I developed that for my own server, so I always knew that there would be a account. So I think I just need to adjust the script a little bit. So if why don't we have an account? Oh, There's always supposed to be an account host service. Let me see the... Oh, you know what? I think it's actually a bug in my script. There's always an account service. Always, always, always. No such property. Yeah, I just didn't import the right thing. So if we go back over here, this is not imported by default. Yeah, see, I imported it right there, and I didn't copy that over. I probably should. Well, I need to build in some default ability to get permissions without having to do, like, a just get permissions thing without having to do, like, all this code to find it. Okay, so we should be good this time. Let us see. Then I'll show how we can make... We'll see if we can make the mod reloadable so that we can live edit the things. I think it'll break if we do that because of the way we're creating the objects, but we'll have to see. There's a way to like create or... I think there's a way to create or update an object. Come on, we can do it. Which would be really cool for us. Okay. Unknown type Halloween 25 plot tool. Oh, I screwed up. I screwed up. One of these is the type, and one of these is the name. And so we're going to have to look at... base objects, create item, no, standard tools, name, type name. Okay, so that's what it is. So for this second one, I should have known better. That needs to be the name of our type, this thing. One of them is the name as it appears in the game. The other one is the... Alright, we'll try again. At least it fails pretty early. Yeah, if you actually have a script bug, it'll fail during this part. Okay, like script parsing error or whatever. Play, hey, it's letting us in. So that means the script ran. It potentially added the tool, unless that screwed up, but it didn't break, didn't crash. So we're getting closer. So we'll get into the game a little bit. Then I'll hit tab, or not tab, inventory. Come on. There we go. I for inventory. It's just, everything's so slow. Yeah, okay, it's there. It needed to be smaller still. So we'll fix that. But we've got a thing, and I should be able to equip it, and it'll be in a weird place. Like if we look at our hand, it'll probably be... Let's look for our hand here. Yeah, so see, it's like at a weird orientation. So already I know we probably want to pitch it up by 90. So these are things you can like go in here. We can't adjust it live, but we can... in fact, what was the other? I think that... I ought to be able to look at how I did this one. It'll be about the same. Where is it? No, maybe not. Maybe I did that one upright already. Yeah, okay. So from angles, I think it's negative, negative math dot pi times 0. Quarter pi, right? Or half pi is 90 degrees. Yeah, so 0, 0. One more. Yeah. Yeah, so it tried to reload our script, but the error is, yeah, the type already exists. So we need a way to update the existing types instead of trying to create them all the time. So that didn't actually fix that, but I just wanted to deal with it, and probably there's an offset, so that's like the little tweaks you can make. Her hat looks funny. I'm going to take that hat off. But that's what the fur hat looked like. If you want to see what the long hat looked like, it's pretty crazy too. Yeah, so we got that. Can take that off. Let's put the mask on. Oh yeah, the superhero mask. All right. Yeah, there's actually a little bug in the hat code because it's not even supposed to be enabling that at the moment. Because there is no hat. Anyway, like you guys probably can't see it on the live stream, but there's this little fringe leak where the edge of the brim would be. Anyway, so yeah, she looks very. Anyway, so we've got our object, and so if I hover over a block, yeah, so place the Halloween pool. So we should be able to place one. Hey, look at that. So we placed our little sign. Let me, thanks. Yeah, I mean, I could also take the eyes out, you know, so that it would actually be her eyes, which would be funny, because it's funny with it's all white. So anyway, we could place the sign. If we hover over it, it should say, yeah, so we can look at the sign. If we click on it, it'll say, yeah, this is a Halloween sign, blah, blah, blah. Let me see. Oh, yeah, that's funny. Let me see if there's a way to update or create a type. So like the whole API is right in GroovyScript, so I should be able to look. Create type. Oops, maybe not. Let me go back over here. Base objects. Base object API, that's what I'm looking for. It's create type, replace type. But if replace type, is replace type smart enough not to fail if it's new? So let's change all of our we should be able to make our own. Well, we'd have to restart to make our own. Let's see if this works. But replace type is meant to be like you can replace an existing type that the game has defined with your own. So let's see if it allows us to do that. Well, I mean, it would because those types already exist. And so now I should be able to take that out of her hand. Let's like equip this instead, and then re-equip this maybe. But yeah, so it did. It fixed it. Like if we look here, so see it rotated it. So we could actually tweak. Yeah, and I did do it backwards. So we actually figure out what we want to do. Yeah, so now we've got a reloadable script we can live edit in the game. Of course, we have to every time we do that, we have to unequip it and re-equip it so that it picks up the new location. Yeah, so that's pretty close, right? You could mess with the offset, but now if we look down, and we can see it in our hand. Oh, so I could also change the scale because we decided the scale was too big. Times 0.5. And probably want to do the same thing for this. Okay, so yeah, that's gonna make this a lot easier to deal with. So let's unequip it again. of course, it's not going to fix the scaling here because we already added this in our inventory and it's already loaded it. But we already joined the game, so it already created the item, so we're not going to fix that. But so let's re-equip it. Yeah. So it's. I can't tell if it. Anyway, if I was to exit out of the game and come back in, it should be smaller. Anyway, we've got a basic thing set up. We should be able to then replace what this is doing. So this is the sign. We want to set the description, which I think is description, conveniently. Set type var description. And we, Pepsi's all gone. We're on water now. Okay, so now we're getting into things. So we want actually a description that changes when we want a description that changes when depending on the state of the object. We can do that in a couple different ways, but we'll go ahead and build in the thing now. And I want to see in base objects. Let's go base. Let's go objects. Because I closed base objects thinking I didn't need it, but I do. So look. How does it normally show? Show prompt with the lines. Okay, so we'll have the look command. We'll build up some lines. Def lines equals blah blah blah, and lines plus equals. And there's like formatting you can do. It allows markdown style formatting, so you can have so we can actually steal a little bit of this. Thanks, Ron. I haven't long time no see. Glad you could join us. How's life been treating you? Okay, so this is an unclaimed Halloween house property. Lines plus equals. We'll make it plus equals. Right click and claim it. Okay, and so that we can make like a claim action that just does nothing, but we'll just log first. We'll echo to the console. So we'll say this is where you would get it. All right, and so as long as my script doesn't have any compile bugs in it. Furlough right now. Oh man, that's right. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, government shutdown. So far, I've been fortunate enough to be unaffected. At least directly. Indirectly, I'm affected because there's lots of people I know who work for the government. The ones that weren't already laid off in the Doge cuts. Alright, so we should be able to look and we'll see, yep, this is an unclaimed Halloween house property. Right click and claim to claim it. I'll probably change the wording there. So if I right click on it, so we can get claim. This is where you would get it. So you can see that text right there. I'm going to go ahead and pause time so that we keep this. Okay, so we're getting there, right? We're building up a script. to own it. How's that? And so that's where we get it. So now we need to start thinking about how we claim something. The other thing is I've locked down moving, but I probably want to let the admin move it. Let me make sure I haven't already created a API for getting permissions, because it's just incredibly tedious to have to grab that every time. And this would have been in my documentation if I'd bothered to look it up, I think. But so we got all kinds of blueprint stuff. We do not. Let me just make sure. Perm? Nope. All right. So we will make a little one ourselves so that we don't have to do this all the time. You can actually define kind of in your scripts your own APIs. So that might be worth going over. Like all of this stuff up to the perms. Like we can come up here and we can define our own isAdmin function. Oh, we won't though. There is a way to get the permissions on. It's like when we're logging in, we have to do this whole host service thing. But once you're in and you have an actual player object, it's actually part of your player object. I really wish I had the scripts open. So let me just look it up. Let me see. Search the scripts for perms. Oh no. Dash name, startup groovy. Xargs grep perms. Yeah. So standard mobs does. Standard map tools, of course it does. Oh, but this is in the... Let's look at the standard mobs. Different kind of perms. Let's look at standard mobs.groovy. Perms. So yeah, account is already something we have available. We don't have to look that up. Yeah, okay, cool. So then I can do an isAdmin up here. But we won't. So if only admin can drag signs, only an admin can drag signs. I do think I'm going to add isAdmin. It'll take account. So we're defining our own kind of closure here that takes an account and then does... so if there are no perms, obviously it's not. And if it are perms or we're single player, return. So basically we just return that. Okay, so now we have this nice isAdmin thing. And so we don't need this. We could say if isAdmin account, because account's one of the built-ins. Then I think we say super run. Super run. Yeah, we just go super run. Okay, so that should let us move it if we're an admin. So I should be able to drag this around now. Nope. Boy, it did not like that at all. Super action not found move. Action type. Oh, I guess it's not draggable by default. Is base item not draggable? Base object. Move. Move is there. Oh, it takes... Yeah, never mind. I forgot to pass the parameters. Yeah, those. So we can't just call super running. We have to actually pass the... Otherwise, we're calling a different kind of super. All right, let's see if we can drag it now. Well, we knew it wasn't working before, so I should be able to... Yay! So what that lets me do is if I placed it slightly wrong, I can drag, and if I want to rotate it to different angles, I can rotate it different angles. So I can get a particular property placed just the way I want it. I'm not going to work on necessarily the creating the plot, although, yeah, we still got my wand selected, so I could create another one over here to mess with. Okay, so let's place it there. Oops, wrong one. Let's place it there. Okay, so now I've got another one. Because it would have been nice to have faced me, so then I could like build roads and stuff, and then come place the properties. So anyway, but now I have two to mess with because we're going to want to make sure I can only claim one of them at a time. So if only, like you can only claim it. I think it's if only. Only if. Yeah, that's better. That makes more sense anyway. Only if you don't already have it. And so we can make an entity link. I don't think there's a default API for that, so let's just check though. That would be base objects link. Entity link has a create already. Has a filter. Has lots of cool filters. Cool. And well, that's a morph. So I can creative one. I can only search by default. I can only search for specific linkage, which is okay for the moment. Trying to figure out who to resolve entity. I think is part of the base APIs. Or base object API. No. It must be in here. Where did? Oh, I'm searching with the parentheses. That's why. No. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so if it's null, it returns null. So it's possible that the filter takes null. It will handle nulls, but I don't know that for sure. Anyway, so only if so we want to find the link. I think I can find entity. Let's look at the find entity. So entity link filters type name source target. Okay, so is that in the base APIs? It probably is. Find entity args, which is going to do to entity criteria. Args, which will be a filter and a component. So find entity, entity link filter, resolve entity ID us, self. No, self is the what do we call ourselves? Are we the actor or the activator? This is why I need the... Okay, I gotta open the script stuff because it would have been helpful. So guys, if we pass by any embarrassing documents on the way, nope, documentation, documents, development. Is it Silica, Moss? Where did I put it? Nope. Docs? Nope. Shoot. Where did I put it? Yeah, that's not good. Maybe I can look and see where we are. Save as. Libraries, documents. This is in my regular... But that's... No. Okay. I have no idea, guys. Shoot. Alright, I'm going to have to find that. I'm going to have to track that down because I don't think it's in my recent documents. Like we don't go back far enough. Yeah, because I was doing all of the stuff with the language and things. Okay, anyway. And now I don't even remember what I was going to do. Anyway, I can look over here. Activator. So we want to have anything between... Wait, was it type, source, destination? Just gonna borrow these. So this is like a trick I use so I don't have to keep switching back and forth. Let's just put it in commented out code right here so I can see. So filter would be type name, so Halloween plot 25 or Halloween 25 plot. Between that one and the ID and us, or the self. Self is already an entity ID. So self is the sign itself. Okay, so return link equals null. Right, so that should be okay. Yep, and so it should still let us claim it because it is. Actually, we want to find any of them because if it's claimed by anybody, we don't want to. And so I need to look up entity link and find out if it has any other cool filtering. Is it smart enough to know? It is! I can pass nulls! Awesome. Okay. Okay, so anything, if there is any existing thing, then you can't do it. And otherwise equals create entity, and we say entity link create, which has the thing down there, which is the source, resolve entity ID activator, and self, and Halloween plot. Okay, so that'll create the entity and make the link, and then we wouldn't be able to claim this again. Okay? Uh-oh. Script bug. Entity link. Expression list of the form. Did I entity link create. Source target type name. Is it looking at the wrong? Oh, it's this semicolon. Yeah. You don't have to use semicolons in Groovy, and it gets me in trouble all the time because sometimes you can't use them. All right, so if I claim this, I shouldn't be able to claim it again. Okay, so now it's mine. Now if I do this, oops. Yep, doesn't show up anymore. All right, cool. Though, you know, I need to be able to remove it too. And so we can add a thing to this to allow that as well. We want to say add action delete, and then only if return is admin account. And so then we can say remove entity self. Right, so now, so that should have only affected this one. If I go back over to this one over here, I should still be able to claim this one because it doesn't know that I've already claimed another one. Okay, so that's another thing we can fix real quick. It shouldn't allow me to so if so it shouldn't allow me to do it if link is not equal to null, return false. But now we want to find out if I already have one. Oops. So if there's one between me and nothing else, I already own a different one, or this one, in which case I still can't claim it. And so I can still only do it if link is null. So I should not be able to claim this one. Yep, okay. But that's the other thing, is we want to make sure. So if that's the case, when we remove an entity, we want to make sure to clean up all these links, because that won't happen by default. And there's a way to hook into that as well. All objects can have, there's like a remove. So remove entity is what I'm looking for. And it will run on remove. So if I create an action on remove, really I should have just put the, okay, we'll talk about this in a second. Let me fix this so that I can clean up the garbage I've already made. So we can add an action down here on remove. That's going to run whenever we get removed. I'm pretty sure it does not take any arguments, right? Yep. Run if exists. Okay, on remove. And so we need to find links equals find entities, entity link filter. Because I created these as their own entities, they won't get deleted if I delete the sign. And because there can only be one for each sign, I shouldn't have created a separate entity. I should have just put it on the object, and then I wouldn't have had to do this. But I'm putting this in temporarily to clean up the garbage I've already created. So if any of, when I'm deleting this, let's find all of those guys, find entities. Actually, it will automatically add the one component, and then links each echo removing it, remove entity it. Okay. Uh-oh. Links, what? This current scope already contains a variable of the name it. Oh. Does it? Alright, so link, alright. Okay, so we should be able to, so right now, I should not be able to claim this one because I've already got a different one. This is the different one. You can see I'm wearing a hat because the brim, yeah, actually the brim is, that's I gotta fix that. So I should be able to delete this. Uh-oh. Yay! Oh. So normally it's not delete, it's delete object. And there's a, like, well, this way we'll be able to see if this replace type stuff is going to work. Actually, I can make it work. So, like, when the client and server talk, they don't send these strings, these action strings. They're preloaded in such a way that they're just integer IDs at that point because we used one that's not already used because I did delete instead of delete object. Or, yeah, what is the standard one? I gotta remember to do two things here. Was it delete? No. No, I'm in the wrong place. I need to go to test objects. What did I call it then? So it must be in base objects. Okay, must be delete. What the hell? So object wand, object tool. Uh-oh, somebody's blinging me. Oh, Lori. Okay, so I mean, it doesn't really matter except for there's a way objects can be deleted. And now I'm confused. I'm looking in the wrong place. Context action. So if I can delete it, it's delete object. So it is called delete object. So that's what I should have done. Anyway, I'm going to just verify. I'm just going to make sure, doubly, triply sure, before we run again, that replace type will do what I want. So we will just double confirm. Don't know if this is needed, but want to be safe. So return create type name. So if it doesn't exist, yeah, that would have been bad. Okay, so so that lets us continue to reload. And delete will work fine now because it'll have transferred that action ID. But delete objects is what I should have said. So that's one issue with the live loading. With the actions, you have to use action IDs that are action names that already exist when you first loaded the game, or when you first connected to the server. So it shouldn't have actually deleted our object, at least. Come on, let me in, let me in. Little pigs, let me in. Alright. Okay. Let's pick a good time of day. Yeah, still there. So this is a pretty good time of day. Because we should be able to still delete. Delete. Yay! And it removed the child too, so cool. And so now it should let us claim this. Yeah, so we could claim this and then we wouldn't be able to claim it again. Okay. And if I made another one over here, if I click down here, boink. Oh. Why is it not letting me? What thing? Oh, it removed it. It's got, so okay. So yeah, it did make it smaller. So I forgot it removed it and set it back again. So now I gotta. See, when we joined the game, it removed it from our inventory, which unequipped it. Okay, so now I can't claim this one because I've already claimed the other one. But I actually want to fix that because that's not the way I want to do it. So we've talked about this before, I think. Let me find my thing here. So you know you have entities. Actually, I have it up here, right? Yeah, talking about how entities are connected together and stuff. Somewhere around here. Wow. Okay, so I can actually zoom out. Look at it's like the history of our live streams. I know some of you guys used to say this is the highlight of the stream or whatever. So let's zoom back in. So so you have an entity here, and you can have components that are attached to that. That's the individual data. Like you've got the position, the model it's using, and so on. And then you've got the player entity over here, which also has their components and so on. And what I did to link these two together was I created a completely separate entity. The only thing it had with that one entity link component that pointed to this one and pointed to this one. But the problem is when I go to delete the sign, it would leave these guys dangling around. Thing is, I've already predefined that there can only be one of these per sign anyway, so I shouldn't create its own entity. I should stick this component right on the same entity. And then I wouldn't have any extra cleanup to do. So let's fix that by, instead of creating an entity, we're just going to put that right on self. Okay. And so I'm going to say removing link block, blah, blah, blah. We're going to get rid of that part. And so we should be good to go. So first I have to get rid of the one that I've already claimed. Which let's just get rid of all of them. Boink. So that one didn't have any links. This one's the one that's got the link. So we can delete that. And remove the entity link. Okay. And so now I don't need that code anymore because we're much cleaner now. And so I should be able to place another one here. Boink. I should be able to claim it. Boink. Now I can't claim it anymore. Right. And if I place another one over here, boink. I can't claim this one. Right. If I delete this one, now I don't have it anymore. I should be able to claim this one yet. So all that logic is good, and I don't have to have that cleanup junk anymore. But I'm going to leave it here as an example. I'm going to leave a comment, because I'm probably publish this so you guys can see it too. Don't need this now that we put the link right on the claim. Now, the dangerous part of this is that we have to make sure our logic is super correct, because if someone did manage to claim it when they weren't allowed to, it would steal it from whoever had the claim. So we'd have to make sure our only if logic is really beefy. Of course, that would have been true anyway. We would have reset the link. Whatever permissions we used would still have been messed up. So we just got to make sure that they're not allowed to claim something they can't claim. All right, so we've got that set up. Now, let me pick a better name for these. I think there's a way to set the default name in the like these type var things, base object API, except for it would be base objects. So way to get the name, initialize doesn't set the name, so we have to set the name. That's fine. I wanted to set the name anyway, so let's go back down here, and let's go ahead and delete these. Delete. Oh, both of them are deleted. Nice. Okay, so let's make a down here where we create the object, entity new name unclaimed Halloween house. Okay, so now if I place this, it'll show up as unclaimed Halloween house. This is an unclaimed Halloween property. Right click to own it. And so we can actually change the way that description looks too. So here we can either do it by having this only if it's unclaimed. In fact, let's make a is claimed. Oh, it's just self, so self yeah, so if we should be able to say is claimed, return link not equal to null, so that means it's claimed. And so we can say only if return not is claimed self. Okay, so we'll only have the special we didn't claim it look. So this is still unclaimed. If I claim it, claim. And now all I can do is delete it. There is no look because I haven't defined a look. Right, I overrode look and I made it not work anymore. And so I can add another. Oh, wait. I can't do it this way because there can only be one look at a time. Anyway, it worked like I said it would. So let's make it if is claimed self. We'll do one message, and otherwise we'll do this message. Lines plus equal this is okay, so see, we didn't actually want this we actually do want to just go ahead and pull the link. I'm going to leave the is claimed thing up there, but if link is not equal to null, this is we should be able to say link dot source, yeah, source.name Halloween house lines plus equal public lines plus equals right click and visit to mark it as visited. Okay, and so that should be good. And now if I go here and I look, oh, we get bugs. So I screwed something up in my script. Can I get property name on null object? But it said that it had the link echo link. Oh. That's the link entity, but I need to get the entity link from it. Yeah. There. So that's the entity, but not the component. Okay. Now we can look. Yeah. This is Adela's Halloween house. Yeah, so I need to, when I claim it, let's delete it. When I claim it, I need to change the name. Name. Nope. Self. New name. Activator. Name. Halloween house. Okay, so that when we claim it, it should rename it. Okay. Let's make one. Boink. Look. Unclaimed Halloween house. This is an unclaimed Halloween house property. Right click, claim to own it. Okay, I will. Right to claim. Boink. And then now if we look, this is Adela's Halloween house. This is Adela's Halloween house. So cool. All that's working. Now I need to be able to have this visit here, right? So we'll add the visit. Add action visit. And that's only if a couple things. First of all, if not is claimed self, turn false. If it's not owned by anybody yet, you can't visit it. Otherwise, we want to see. So the visit is a many-to-many. So we can see def link find entity link filter Halloween 25 visit. Oh, we're going to need this to remove those. Yeah. Halloween 25 visit. And we'll do if it's claimed. If it's not claimed, we can't do it. If we already have a link between ourselves, you can't visit it twice, right? So you've already visited it. It doesn't actually matter if we leave these links around. Return link equals null. Okay. And then if we do visit it, we have to link equals create entity. Oops. Boink. And entity link create this. We want to do everything in here except for we want to call it Halloween 25 visit. Okay, and oops, want that bat down here. Okay, so that'll create the visit, and then we want to make sure if somebody removes the plot, all the visits go away. Removing visit of from source.name. So we'll say who we're removing the visits for. I think that's all we need. So, and then eventually, like when we visit it, we want to like create the thing on the player. We're getting close to the end though, but you kind of see what's going on, right? So we look and say, oh yeah, we can mark it as visited. Technically, we shouldn't be able to visit our own, but it's easier to do the, like, I want to give people special credit if they visited every house. And so if they like visit the last one at the time that they visited, they'll get like a special achievement of some kind that'll, anyway, so we can visit it. Oh no! Oh, it's the same thing I hit before. That's right, there's never been a visit action, so alright, well, we'll run it again. We should be able to visit it this time. The dangers of live editing scripts. So you're better off, you're safer if you stick to actions that already exist, because there's that issue. And it's not an easy issue to work around, unfortunately. Actually, we could... I bet I could fix that. Yeah. I could fix that in the API so that if you add an action that doesn't already have an action ID, it will create one in the... Yeah. That would fix it. I'm actually surprised the sending doesn't do that already. Alright, let's make a good time of day. Boink, 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 boink. That seems good enough. Okay, so now we should be able to right-click, visit. Okay. Okay, portal bounds will clear. Now I should not be able to visit it again. Yeah, visit's not there. Probably we could make that. Let's add another case here. Let's say def visit equals find entity. Oh yeah, we don't have to do this anymore. So I'm gonna steal this. Find entity resolve entity ID activator if visit, and do that, else you have visited this before. And so up here I don't have to do all this work anymore. I can just say self. Oh, I will though. So the claim is right on this entity. It's easier because I can. It's easier. It's cheating. It's easier for me to search like that. Anyway, so we'll just leave that. But technically, I don't have to look very far because this entity link's already on the self object. Oh, that's interesting. I actually should have done this as a separate entity, because entity links, you can have many of them. In fact, we will. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna change that back. To because you can only have one entity link it per object, not just per entity. It doesn't matter how many of these. Like, if I had some other thing that I wanted to make an entity link for, it would blow it away. So we still need to create the separate removing claim of that. Okay, so that's good. We'll do that. And then we'll go back to creating our entity here. Yeah, okay. Uh-oh, I screwed something up. Oh, that's a parenthesis. Okay. Alright, so we should be good. Look. Oh. Why did it not find that I had already visited? Oops. Oh. Oh, have I not visited this already? No, I have. Wait. Oh, because I... Did I screw something up? Let's just delete this and start over. Delete. Okay. So removing visit from Adele. Okay. Doink, doink. Oh yeah, because we restarted. I gotta reclaim my little wand. Click. Okay. Look. This is unclaimed property. I have not visit. Okay, I put it on the wrong branch. Is what it is. Yeah, I put this on the wrong branch. So my logic was good. Just in the wrong place. There we go. Okay, so now, look, an unclaimed property. You have? No, I haven't. What are you still telling me that? Did it fail to load my script? Delete. Place it again. Look. There we go. So this is unclaimed Halloween prospect. Okay, let's claim it. Claim. Okay, I got it. So now if I look, it'll say, "This is my house. Visit it. Visit." Now if I do it, it should say, visit entity. I have a visit entity. So did I get the logic backwards? Oh, I did. I'm just putting the wrong things on the else branches all over the place. Okay, so see if it let it fix it. Yeah, so for some reason this is not getting rerun. Echo lines. Yeah. So it's like it's not updating the action correctly. Oh, there we go. You have visited before. Okay, so I just had to do something that... Okay, so that made it. So now if I delete it, it should clean up the claim and the... Oh, it did not clean up the claim. So now I probably won't be able to claim anything again. Retro Did it screw up? Alright, let's place another one. So you're going to let me claim it? Nope. So now I'm screwed. Okay, I can clean up my stuff though. So if I'm an admin, clean me. And so I should be able to find all of my Halloween plot. Just to clean anything I've got. For resolve entity ID activator. Null. Excuse me. Okay, so I should be able to clean myself. Clean me. Oh, it's going to do the same thing. Let me see if I can get string ID clean me true. Log info. Okay, so it did do it. Let's see if that makes it work okay. Because otherwise we're going to get the same thing, no action ID. Okay, we did. But it did not clean anything. Okay, so something is wrong. Well, let me claim it if there's... So maybe I spelled it wrong? Only if... capital P plot. Lowercase v visit. That's why. I should make these constants because that's going to drive me crazy. And capital P plot. Actually, I can just make it consistent and then I'll be okay. So let's change all of the 25 visits to 25 capital visit. Because we should have gotten rid of them all anyway. Okay, so that was consistent. Okay, so that's what it was. Is that name has to be exact. So look. Yep, right click. Clean me. There we go. So now I should be able to claim it. Alright, now I should be able to visit it. Now if I look, you've visited this before. Okay, all that logic's working. If I delete it, it should remove the claim, remove the visit. Yes! Okay, so now if I place another one, I can claim it. Alright, we're cooking with gas now, guys. So now, my last act will be that when you visit it, it will place the, it will create the item on you if you don't already have it. So let me see how I find an item. So we want to like the little trick-or-treater thingy. Where do I want to look? Object, no, base, standard tools. Standard tools is where we create items, find items. Okay. So first we're going to see if I already have it. Let's like not do that yet. Def basket. Find items. I think. Let me just verify. I think I passed myself the player in there. Or the backpack. How do I get the backpack? Create container backpack. We did this already in our thing down here. Oh yeah, so we found it all. Oh, so this is what we, yeah, that's actually how we do it. Okay, activator, I think. Basket. So first I'm gonna see if I can find something that I know will be there. Build. Let's just say if I can do activator. Build want. Echo. Test. Basket. Alright. So let's see if we can visit. Oh, I have to. Oh, it has to be claimed first. Okay, so now it's claimed. Visit. Nope, something's not liking it. Boink, 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 boink. Error running visit with blah blah blah. Class cast exception. Class yeah, wants an entity ID. Okay, cool. I was just checking. If that's really what it wanted. So that's a test, just to see. Alright, visit. Link, entity ID. Okay, so you found my backpack. But what we really want to do is Halloween 2025 basket. And if basket equals null, then we want to create one. This. Okay, we can actually continue to basket just to make sure. And so we want to make sure to use the same name or we won't find it later. And the object type, oh, I called it a bucket. Whatever. So let's call it, oh no, that's different. The basket and the bucket are different. No. That's what I called it. Basket. Yeah, basket. I called it a bucket. Okay. Alright, so if we look at my inventory, I do not have, oh wait, let's give it a different location. 717. Alright, so now if I visit this slot, I should make the, yeah, didn't already have a basket, so it should have put one in my inventory. It did not. It found an empty, oh, find items. I want to find an item. And because I did equals null instead of just a basket. Anyway. Okay. Visit. Basket null. It should have created one. It did not. Okay. What did I do correctly? Oh, player. It's creating that on some other weird non-existent thing, or it's throwing an error and I'm not watching. Okay. And we need to know the backpack. So, yep. Always something. So if we don't have a basket already, let's look up the backpack. Let's say def player equals resolve entity ID activator, just so I can have like some sanity here. Player. Okay, so that should be good. Now let's try. Okay, so visit. Boink. Okay, it shouldn't have had, so I should have put a little thing in. Yay! So my little basket. My Halloween bucket. Yep. So eventually I'm going to fill the player's inventory with all kinds of too much crap. But let's equip it. Let's see what that looks like. Actually, it's not too bad. It's upside down completely. And it's super teeny tiny. I like the mask. So yeah, so I mean I can tweak the thing if we want to like have them carry around their baskets, but they're going to be little teeny tiny because I didn't want to take up inventory. Really, I would like these to be quest trophies and things that you can just look at through a quest tree. And so I'll replace that someday with that, but anyway. So yeah, I mean I should be able to do all the things I did without the wand. Yep, okay, right click. Yeah, should not visit the, yeah, so it shouldn't create two of them. It did not, cool. And now that I have one, I can, it can keep track of all the things. And what I need to do now, and I'm not going to do that tonight because we're already over, but now I need to make it so that if you right click on this and say, look, it will it will pop up the list of places that you've visited and the ones you've actually gotten candy from. Because there'll be two things, right? There'll be, when you claim this, it's going to put a little candy bowl here that you can place around wherever. And if somebody like says take candy, it will add that to their list. Anyway, does anybody have any questions? I'll try to get all this stuff working for Monday's release. If not, I'll at least get the release out with masks and hats and stuff, and then update my server during the week, with this, so that we can start claiming properties in the server. They'll be over near the haunted house. I think that's probably the best place for it. But anyway, this was fun. Hopefully you guys learned some things. I'll post these scripts when they're done, and I'll put some documentation in so that you can use them as why we did what we did and stuff. And then you can come back and I may split them up into multiple scripts to show you how to do that and that kind of thing. All right, productive effort. Oh, let me show you this really cool thing really quick. For those of you who stuck around this far, I was messing with an effect that super secret spoilers is going to be part of the Halloween thing, but yeah, so this is my stone effect, right, with slightly colored stone, which I think is pretty cool. It's using that same kind of fractal stuff, so if you go in, you can see lots of noise related fractal detail, so it should be pretty cool. And so every object will be slightly different and stuff like that. But yeah, it's even got streaks running down, and anyway, so that'll be kind of cool. So yeah, something to do with that. Anyway, thanks for joining. I really appreciate it. Like, comment, subscribe. If you have any other ideas that I might be able to add to this mod while I'm still working on it, let me know. Otherwise, look forward to the release on Monday, and I will catch you guys on Discord. If you want to join the Discord, just download the game. The link's right there in the opening screen. We have a couple people on, some interesting conversations sometimes, and I post lots of images there. All right, thanks a lot. See you next time.